Early in the morning, before the sun is fully up, a small city begins to wake. Apartment lights flicker on one by one. Coffee machines hum. Elevators open and close. Cars start moving through quiet streets that were empty only minutes ago. Trains begin to fill. Buses arrive already crowded. It almost looks like the entire world received the same signal at the same time. The little duck watches people hurry past from the sidewalk, holding bags and checking the time again and again.
Why is everyone in such a rush?
The mouse gently closes his book and looks toward the street. Because every day, millions of people begin their routine together. Offices open, schools start, shops unlock their doors. Morning traffic appears almost like clockwork. And yet, almost nobody asks a very simple question. Why this hour? Why 9 in the morning? Why not 10? Why not noon? Why not whenever people are ready? The strange part is this. The modern day feels natural, but it wasn't designed to be. It was constructed.
You mean someone chose this time?
Not exactly someone, something. Long before office buildings, laptops, and meetings, most people didn't live by strict schedules. Farmers woke with sunlight. Craftsmen opened their workshops when customers arrived. Bakers worked early because bread needed time to rise, but other workers started later. Work followed life. There was no universal start time, no morning rush hour, no shared daily rhythm across entire cities. Then the Industrial Revolution arrived. Factories changed everything. Inside a factory, work depended on machines, and machines were different from people. A machine only produced goods while it was running. If it stopped, production stopped. And if production stopped, money was lost. Factory owners faced a new problem. Machines needed many workers operating together at the same time. One worker arriving late could slow an entire system. So the solution was simple but powerful. Everyone had to arrive together. Large bells rang at the beginning of the shift. Another bell rang for breaks, another for the end of the day. For the first time in history, time didn't just measure life, it controlled it.
So people didn't choose their schedule? The machines did?
Exactly. The factory couldn't adjust to human routines, so humans adjusted to the factory. And once entire towns depended on factories, something unexpected happened. Transportation began aligning with work hours. Shops opened when workers were free. Schools started when parents left for work. Cities slowly organized themselves around a shared daily timetable. Then railroads made it even stronger. Before trains, each town used its own local time based on the sun. But trains couldn't function if every town had a different clock. Schedules would collapse. So standardized time zones were created. Now entire countries followed the same hours. By the late 1800s, factory shifts were often extremely long, sometimes 12 to 16 hours a day. Over time, workers demanded a more reasonable balance. A new idea spread: 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for life. Businesses gradually adopted an 8-hour daytime shift, and the most practical block of daylight hours became roughly 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening. The 9-to-5 workday was born. But notice something important. The schedule wasn't designed around focus, creativity, or comfort. It was designed around coordination. It allowed thousands of people to operate systems together at predictable times. And once society adapted to it, everything else followed. Even today, schools, offices, public transport, and business hours still orbit the same schedule, even though most people no longer work with factory machines.
We don't work in factories anymore.
That's the strange part. Computers replaced machines for many jobs. People now work with information, ideas, and communication, yet the timing remains. Why? Because systems are hard to rebuild. When millions of routines depend on the same hours, changing them becomes complicated. Meetings, transportation, services, and expectations all depend on synchronized time. And this leads to something many people quietly feel. Human energy isn't identical. Some people think best early in the morning, others late in the afternoon. Some concentrate at night. But the shared schedule treats everyone the same. Waking at a fixed hour, commuting at crowded times, and repeating the same pattern every day can feel exhausting, not always because of the work itself, but because of the structure around it. Days begin to blur together. Alarm, commute, work, commute, evening, sleep, repeat.
So it feels tiring because we're following a system, not our own rhythm?
In a way, yes. The modern day still follows a timetable built more than a century ago to organize factory labor. It solved a coordination problem for machines, and society kept it because it worked well enough. The world changed. The schedule stayed. So maybe the reason so many days feel repetitive isn't laziness, and it isn't simply workload. Maybe it's because much of modern life still moves to a rhythm created for machines, and we quietly continue living inside it. The duck looks again at the clock as people pass by in a hurry.
The hands haven't changed. But suddenly, the day feels a little different.